Hey, what's going on, everybody? So why the Tao, right? Simply because the Tao represents nature, it represents the way, and it's for everybody, right? This is not necessarily you got to do these rituals this way and whatnot and all that stuff. That's not what it is. I saw a beautiful old Taoist monk say it's not about the clothes and the ceremony, it's about, the heart. And I found that to be interesting because to me, nature has its rules and laws that it operates by. And to me, that is the ultimate Tao once we are in unison and harmony with that. And so, quick little history about the Tao from my studies is northern and southern China with Taoism had two different schools of thought. It's very interesting because it's kind of like North Korea, South Korea, North Vietnam, South Vietnam. Even in the United States, North and South had two different ideologies. But in northern China, more where Longmen Pai is at, where we call Dragon Gate lineage, they didn't necessarily deal with the sexual energy and embrace the sexual energy. It was more of a path of celibacy. Where the southern school came in and they embraced sexual energy. But for men, we have to understand that, especially the older we get, we can't afford to lose life force energy through ejaculation because it makes our hair thin, it makes our bones brittle, and we start to become weaker, okay? And it speeds up the aging process and the death process. Now, we all gonna leave, but it just depends on how you wanna go, I guess, right? But the southern school came along and incorporated sexuality. Man got his energy back up, recaptured his energy. See, women is different. They recaptured man's energy, and once you recapture the energy, then you can go off on more the celibate path to do more of these arts. Well, the Western school came and said, no, we're going to keep the sexual energy. So within this, we have 15 papers that we published. 6 of them are considered more of the intro papers. The other 9 are really upstairs in a sense. If you're interested, you can email me and we'll get you those 6 papers. In order to get the other ones, you must make a request, okay? But feel free to email me if you're interested in them because we have some phenomenal topics in there. And hopefully we'll talk about one of them, all right? And so that's why the Tao, because in one of our papers, it's called Why South and West, because this is where we gain our influence from. And I'll speak on this from the South and close it with this. The South was known to be more of a in-house teacher to student type of lineage. It wasn't about the temple and ceremonial rites and every temple had to go through this temple in order to become a temple. That was the North. That wasn't the South. The South allowed what I call divine inspiration from the teacher. And I think that's beautiful on a lot of levels because we all have that divine right. And if you understand the history of martial arts and Qigong and Sanfang, whether, the creator of Wu Dang, Kung Fu and things, like, oh, I was watching the snake and the bird fight. Same thing with, the style Bruce Lee learned at first, Wu Chun, right? Like, oh, okay, they watched nature and then went off and then perfected it, right? There's an inspiration. Same thing within Tai Chi. You would see that Chen style was first, but then Yang came, but Yang studied up under Chen. And so, but he created his own variation. So they allow room for creativity. So to me, that's a great thing, especially when is proven to be beneficial. There's certain things in astrology where planets are in certain signs that there are really exaltations that we teach that the regular standard they just got the old school rules. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's the basis, that's the core. That's true. But there's also something else going on that hasn't really been expounded upon. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore that creativity is absolutely 100% needed. And this is why we are inspired by the Southern and Western schools of Taoism, okay? Now, when we get into, let's talk about one of the papers. So one of the papers is interesting. Well, before we do that, let's talk about go through the 3 treasures and then we get to the paper. So the 3 treasures of Taoism is Qing, also called Jing. Qing, which is sexual generative energy. Qi, which is vital life force energy. and then Shin, which is the spirit. So what's the goal? Well, the goal is, how do you increase your qing to pretty much increase chi, get the chi flowing, and then chi activates spirit, and spirit illuminates the body. You can call this Kundalini awakening inside of the tantric schools, the Kundalini fire. I've had this experience on 2 occasions. Felt like you stuck your hand in the socket, but you don't feel no shock. It's just this energy is coming off you. It's unexplainable, it's unreal. But it looks like this picture that hopefully we can put here in the video. It's very, very, very phenomenal. And so the goal is to get into what we call stage 2. Well, stage 1 is understanding your cosmic connection, right? Like, for example, we got the Venus bath coming up on 10/10. Why? Venus is going to align with a certain energy in the sky that is great. It's so powerful. Washington, D.C. was designed by a black man, Benjamin Banneker, based off this particular star. That's how powerful it is, okay? To this day, the United States Capitol building is actually the building that mirrors this star, and this is the building that writes the laws of the entire United States of America. Well, Venus is coming in proximity to this particular energy. Venus represents love and relationships, so it's something that we need to be doing. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what we do. And so we got to understand that. And so if you look at the logo of the fixed gate, because remember, our system is called Gudingdamin Tiatong Ping Hung Dao, which means fixed gate way of heavenly balance, right? Okay, let's look at something. Let's look at nature. When it's summertime, Cancer, water sign, starts the summer, Leo in the middle of the summer, fire, and then Virgo, the last sign of the summer, earth, we're missing an element. So each season misses an element. Well, summer, hot summer, is missing air. But that's interesting, because when we're hot, we turn on the cold air. Well, let's go to cold, which is the winter season. Capricorn is an earth sign, it starts the winter. Then Aquarius is the air sign in the middle of the winter, and then Pisces is the water sign at the end. So it's missing fire. Duh, no shit, Sherlock. It's cold outside, of course we're missing fire. So we turn on the hot fire. Well, hot fire, if you go to fire the summertime, that would be Leo. Oh, so Leo, hot fire, is the balance to the cold Aquarian winter, and vice versa, the cold Aquarian winter is the balance to hot Leo fire summer season. And the same is true when you deal with the spring and the fall. So the spring is Aries, fire, Taurus, earth, Gemini, air is missing water. Interesting, because April showers is what brings the May flowers. So the water comes on the earth as we're missing it. We're missing that element within this season. See, nobody teaches the zodiac this way. You see what I'm saying? And so then when you go to the fall season, Libra, air, Scorpio, water, Sagittarius, fire. Oh, we're missing the earth. What a coincidence. This is the harvest season, because we start taking away from the earth in a sense. But when you look at that, well, that's Taurus, the earth sign. Scorpio in the fall is the water sign that Taurus was missing in the spring. You see? So the fixed signs serve as the balancing point to these energies. And you have to know that. And so these energies go in 3 phases. The cardinal signs, they start the beginning of the spring, the beginning of the summer, beginning of the fall, beginning of the winter. The fixed signs preserve and they balance. And the mutable signs is the ultimate expression of that energy's, of that season's energy, known as the longest day of the year, shortest day of the year, and stuff like that, okay? And so we have to know this, okay? So coming into balance with this and incorporating it in our lives through the things that we do is very important. So that's the first thing. And then there's an inner practice that we do, like the sun is in Libra. Libra deals with the kidneys, the light kidneys. There's a way that we need to channel this light and what we need to focus on. So then that becomes the inner alchemy with the outer alchemy, okay? So that's like level 1, and knowing our personal biorhythms and doing certain things, right? Staying in harmony. That's like level 1. Level 2 is what we call the dragon heart. The dragon heart healing touch practices or healing love practice, right? Healing needs to be the word and the attention that precedes love, okay? We're not saying, oh, you sick. We just saying, this is about vitality. This is about an increase of energy. This is about no weapon formed against you shall prosper. This is what this is about. And so now we do something, borrow some from our cousins, the tantric school, because Tantra and Taoism are very closely related, right? It's just, in my opinion, Tantra don't get more into the external elements in your personal cycle with them, but that's fine. We borrow the tantric hug and embrace, and as you've seen, Yin Guan Jin, that's who I call TK, his name is Yin Guan Jin. You saw him on the video come on and share that since I've given him that particular practice, this has increased his relationship. He's been in a relationship for over a decade. How has it impacted your relationship as a man? What have you seen?
Man, listen. So, and it's crazy because we really only been consistently doing this like this week. You know what I mean? I've been hitting you every night. We've been locked in these past 3 or 4 days. It's opened up doors, that were kind of shut, for a long time, by the physical touch.
Things start to get stale quick, y'all. Y'all know how it is, because we don't purposely revitalize it. We don't do things to connect the mind and the heart with one another and recirculate the energy within us, to recirculate the love that we have. We have to be intentional. You just can't be normal. Normal gets you in trouble. Normal sucks, right? Normal is really bad. You got to have that tank on full, all right? And so you would see a testimonial from him saying, yo, bro, this increased, it's increasing my relationship overall. And he wasn't even doing it for that. He's actually doing it to overcome a health obstacle at this particular time, which is already done, okay? And so, when we get into this particular school, especially for men, we got to learn how to stop dissipating that energy and then learn how to store and build up so we can go to the third level. Women go to the third level as well, and that's for the circuits to come on so we can be lit up. Now, there's all kind of juicy, beautiful stuff within, the bedroom arts, as we call it. Beautiful stuff. But we can't even get into that if we're not even disciplined enough to undergo Tai Chi or Qigong. Listen, in India, dealing with Kundalini, you got to do some crazy ass yoga stances in order to activate this stuff, right? This energy that's in you. And there ain't no guarantee it's going to come online then. I remember reading in one of my Taoist texts, it said, hey, ain't no guarantee you can have this illumination. It's just not. And this is why the practitioners undergo Qigong and Tai Chi and martial arts. So it may be boring as hell to come outside and sit in nature and breathe and start doing Qigong or Tai Chi every single day because it's too soft and it's not microwave, it's not fast, right? But this is why the turtle is always considered the top G of them all. Forget the dragon. The turtle is the one that is the true immortal, is the turtle. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Yeah, I look old, but I'll be here forever. Nice and slow. And so we got to slow it down and be willing to put this work in. And there's a certain style, certain teaching of Tai Chi that we have to undergo so we can make sure that the body is flowing. So then when we do come into unison with our divine lover, then the energies could be much easier or easily activated, okay? So in a nutshell, that's what it is, man. We wrote a paper called Touch Heals the Soul, or Touch Purifies the Soul. Yes, Touch Purifies the Soul. That was one of the ones that, got Yin Yang Yin, that got him on, or Yin Guan Jin, I'm sorry. That got him on his path, right? And he's like, yo, bro, I need that. And so, it's an awesome paper. There is, there's another one, that deals with sexual dissonance. Sexual dissonance creates disease. It's a theory, but it's something that we never really thought about. You know what I'm saying? person C get it from person B get it from A, where did A get it from? Shout out to, Yaki. He's showing you how a lot of diseases are coming from the external environment, something you pretty much put in your mouth. See, if person A is the origin point and hasn't been with person B yet, and person A has something, where did A get it from? It has to be something foreign that came into the body somehow, whether it's breathing, skin contact, or through the mouth, right? That's one way. But what about understanding A and B's energy is off, and all chemicals create something, and this chemical mixture that they have, since they don't click, that actually becomes the origin point. So B think it's A, but they don't know that it's your response to A. It's y'all coalescing A and B together that's creating a whole new thing and whatnot. And this is how real energy is, and we have to really start to become in tune with that, and then learning the practices on how to align ourselves with one another before we go straight for the gusto. Okay, all right. And so it's a very disciplined art that entails, honestly, it's a lifetime. It just really is. It's just a lifetime of work. But in a nutshell, that is the fixed gate, the way of heavenly balance. Understanding these 3 levels. Again, activating, preserving, restoring the energy, and then letting that light switch come on and whatnot. For women, the text that we have, you lose your life force energy through your menstrual cycle. My daughter was balled up on one of her cycles, laying on the floor in the bathroom, right? Ain't even 16 yet, losing life force energy. So now, hey, you got to start learning these practices so you can shorten this particular cycle, because it's draining you of your life force and whatnot. Okay, something to think about. All right. So the nutshell, that's what it is. But again, if you want to get more information, you can you absolutely have to email. I'll give you the first 6 papers, and then you have to make a request, for the rest, in a sense. And I'd love to see you on this beautiful journey, because there is something that we're doing at the top of the year that is in person, face to face, that we're doing. Okay, and so that's what we on, man. That's what we do. All right.